उनका
नहीं,
काम
वो
है
नेक्स्ट
उसकी
लेवल पे ले
personality
नहीं
test
रहा है,
करना।
वो जो इंटरव्यू को जो है कि लेवल पे लेना है
नहीं,
ना।
but
हाँ, वो लेके जा ही नहीं रहा।
नहीं, but sir, actually there are some interview boards.
Yes, please.
So may I come
प्लीज
in?
कम
Come.
Siddharth.
Siddharth.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Siddharth. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
So you are in engineering service.
Yes, sir. I've been selected for engineering services, but my joining has not come yet.
Oh, okay. So this will be which branch in engineering services?
So Central Power Engineering Services.
Power engineering.
Yes, sir.
So you will be in electrical, which was your subject also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and your father he retired as manager mining.
So he is presently working in Coal India Limited as manager mining.
Oh, it says as if your father is in service. Okay, if retired. Okay, he is working as manager mining in
Yes,
Coal
sir.
India.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, tell me, what is the India's commitment in climate change talks about reducing the carbon footprint?
So India has committed in the form of Panchamrit goals in the COP26. Our first goal is that we aim to increase our renewable power generation capacity to 500 gigawatt.
Okay.
Next is we aim to reduce the emission intensity of GDP from 2005 level by 40%. Next, we aim to, we had already committed to making carbon sink of about 2.5 to 3 ton,
3
million
tons.
Yeah. Billion tons, sir. It is
billion tons.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Additionally, we have added to the target with 1 billion
1
tons.
billion tons. Okay.
And so these are the three I am able to.
You have left out one of the most important ones. Achieving net neutrality
By 2070. Yes.
by 2070. So, tell me, what are supposing even if we achieve this 500 gigawatt, what are the challenges in actually utilizing 500 gigawatt of renewable energy?
Sir, there are few challenges. The foremost is the transmission capacity. Even if presently we see around 40% of the capacity is from renewables, but when we actually look at the generation and fulfilling our demands, only about 24% is coming from renewables. So transmission is first issue. Next is the various renewable sources.
No, that is not because of transmission alone.
Sir, additionally,
it is because of the
intermittent source of. Next issue is the intermittent source of power. Coal can be a very good source of base load, but if we look at sources like solar and power, they depend upon the weather and time of the day. Next, there is an additional issue is that with respect to solar power, we need additional technology like battery technology, for which we need resources like lithium and capacity for battery manufacturing, which we presently do not have. And even in solar manufacturing, solar demands, about 80% of our demands for solar panel are being met from imports. So I think these are the major issues, even if we are able to augment our capacity.
So when India is such a major, producer right now of solar power, why is it that we have not been, and what steps have the government taken to improve the production of solar modules within the country?
Sir, the foremost step is that we have a production linked incentive PLI scheme for in which incentives are provided for additional manufacturing capacity in solar power. Additionally, the various exemptions were provided in customs duty for import of solar modules, which have been removed to make the domestic industry more competitive. I think these are the two.
No, not only exemptions have been removed, there is something else has been done. Earlier the government had imposed safeguard duty, and later on it was converted into basic custom duty.
Okay,
so
sir.
basic custom duty is now being levied on the solar module.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then
So I think these are the two foremost steps.
For storage, what are the solutions?
So storage.
One is battery. Other than battery, can you think of solutions?
Yes, sir. One solution which we can implement is the pumped storage power solution, in
Right.
which,
Where all has it been implemented?
sir, if we look at India, the biggest pump storage plant is in the Sardar Sarovar Dam. It is there, and one more is being presently constructed in around the Tehri Dam. So these are two main projects for pump storage in India.
What is the run of the river power project?
Sir, run of the river power project, we do not make a reservoir. What we do is we use the natural slope of the river, and in the natural flow of the river, that is used to turn the turbine. This is specifically is being used in Jammu Kashmir in dams like Kishanganga Dam, which is conceptualized around this idea, and it helps us avoid.
So there is a specific kind of terrain only where this can be done.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir. We
Which-
need a mountainous
Which
kind
will
of
be
terrain.
hilly, yeah,
Yes, sir.
mountainous. This thing. So in Kishanganga, what is the dispute? There is a dispute now.
Yes, sir.
What is the dispute?
Sir, Pakistan, citing the Indus Water Treaty, has been objecting to the Kishanganga Dam, and it has taken it to the International Court of Justice also, and it objects to the treaty, saying that the water of Jhelum River
It
has
objects to the treaty.
to the dam,
Dam.
to the dam, citing that the Jhelum water has been allocated to Pakistan under the Indus Water Treaty, and there are also apprehensions that in the future, if such a dam is constructed by India, it may be used to control the flow of water to Pakistan.
And what has India done in response?
Sir, India.
Actually, there is a whole story in this Kishanganga project, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what has India done?
Sir, India initially fought the case in the International Court of Justice, and the verdict was in favor of India. Later, Pakistan requested for appointing, I think, a neutral arbitrator between the two countries. And given that Pakistan has been putting repeated steps to stall the project, India has now
Two projects. I think there are two projects on which issues arose.
Yes, sir. I think it's Kishanganga, and the other one, I'm
Riyasi
not sure,
or
Ratle.
Riyasi. No, they're there only.
It's I think Ratle Dam on Chenab in the Riyasi district.
Right.
India has now requested Pakistan and World Bank to re-look at the Indus Water Treaty.
So, what do you think? Would it be possible? What are the possible outcomes for from India's viewpoint?
So,
would we like to kind of revoke the treaty? We would like to.
sir, in my opinion, revoking the treaty is not a very prudent step, because the treaty has stood between India and Pakistan for almost 60 years now, and has been successful in resolving these disputes. Additionally, if we are to unilaterally revoke such a treaty, we are also under such pressure from China, through which many of our own rivers flow, and our negotiating power with China will reduce. So I think steps to renegotiate the treaty, so such concerns regarding run of the river dams are addressed, is a better method.
Okay, good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Siddharth.
Yes.
Okay. What lessons of Siddharth, Prince Siddharth, can be brought by this Siddharth who is sitting in front of us into civil services as a career?
Sir, foremost, I think the idea of having a madhyam approach, middle approach to life, is, I think, one that can be implemented in civil services, because in civil services, one often has to take decisions for a large amount of population, and extreme steps, unless in special scenarios, I think a medium strategy to various approaches is good. Next, the amount of workload and pressure in civil services can sometimes be higher, given the responsibilities one has. And the calm approach which Buddha displayed in his life is one which adopted by civil servants can help them balance and maintain a good temperament at workplace. I think these are the two biggest learnings which.
So Madhyam Marg.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Siddharth friend is one of the contender in a national highway project, and Siddharth is the CMD of the National Highway Authority, and you are part of that bidding committee, that tendering process committee. How can you bring that Madhyam Marg?
Sir, a Madhyam approach, in my opinion, would be me recusing myself from the project. The two extreme steps could be that I could favor my friend, and one could be that I could completely reject his bid, citing conflict of interest. But I think those are the two extreme steps. A middle step would be that there would be rest of the committee also, and
It is only 2-member committee.
Sir, then if I have to be part of the committee, then I think evaluating the project on the basis of its merit is the approach which I should take, and without any due favor to my friend or any other person. And I can follow the standard operating procedures with respect to the bidding process. And if the bid from my friend is right, it is competitive one, then I should award it to him. Otherwise, I should go on to the bidder whose bid was the most competitive.
What is that principle of golden mean? Is there any principle of golden mean?
Yes, sir. There's one golden mean principle is that one should treat the others as one wants to be treated by others in life.
Okay. Your father is a manager mining
Yes, sir.
in Coal India Limited.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the mining sector. What reforms are required to be taken in the mining sector?
Sir, do I have to answer for mining sector in general or coal mining?
No, in general.
Okay. Sir, with respect to India, I think the prospecting and finding the ores in the various parts of the country is one of the weaker parts of the mining sector in India. Next is the utility of technology. Specifically, if we take Coal India, we are not able to dig coal beyond 300 meters, which is due to lack of technology. Next is the various mines in India, they are stuck because of the land acquisition process, which in conflict with the land rights of the locals. If a better and a smoother process is devised for this, I think the time which is required to establish a new mine can be reduced. Next is, given the focus on climate change and pollution, reduced for climate footprint of the mining through adoption of various proper procedures to reduce pollution can be a step forward.
There are 3 words: tribals,
Yes, sir.
mining, and environment.
Yes.
Tribals, mining, and environment. How can you balance, these 3 concepts or 3 words in mining as a sector?
Sir, I feel the involvement of tribals in the formulation of plan is a way forward. Just to give you an example, where I live, an issue was found with respect to the mines that they have their local fairs in the daytime, and the mine blasting was also happening in the mines at the same time, and the issue used to come that the fair used to be disturbed by it. A good coordination between the mining administration and the tribal, they were able to adjust the blasting time, and now both the activities go together. So first I think is that we have to involve the tribal and tribal leaders in the process. Next is, for if we have to balance environment and mining, I think the adoption of new technologies. For example, if we are to go for coal mining, coal gasification can be one technology. Adopting such technologies can help us balance the goals of both mining and environment conservation.
Okay, my last 2 questions. Are you familiar about this Bandhan scheme? Bandhan scheme. Minor forest produce, tri-field.
So Bandhan
No
scheme,
idea.
I am not aware.
Okay,
I have
no
heard the
idea.
name of
Okay,
tri-field.
okay, great. Tribal pencil.
Yes, sir. So
What is
tribal
that?
Panchsheel was the idea given by our first Prime Minister Pandit Nehru in the 1950s. The idea was to guide the Indian government's approach towards the tribal, and the basic idea was that the government would not excessively interfere in the matters of the tribal, and they will be allowed to progress and grow at their own pace and under their own natural talents, and government will just keep eyes on hands off approach to tribal growth in India.
Okay, Siddharth, my last question. Are you familiar about this PESA Act?
Yes, sir.
PESA Act.
Yes,
PESA Act. Are you familiar?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So, what is the difficulty in implementing this very act? Is there any difficulty?
Yes, sir.
So, what is the difficulty?
So first of all, I think the biggest difficulty has been that there was no compulsion on the states for enforcing. So for some state, PESA has not been enforced even after 26 years since the act has been passed. For example, MP despite having the largest tribal population, just recently enforced the PESA Act. Next is with respect to the finances. No stringent provisions were made with respect to how the financing of the PESA bodies, the panchayat in the scheduled areas would be done. Hence, even in states where PESA has been enforced, financing provisions have not been made for the body, and hence their working is severely constrained. Also, there have been some conflicts have been seen between the forest department with the rights of the forest department over the forest produce and the PESA bodies which have been enacted by the state. I think these are the three major problems that various panchayats in the scheduled areas have been facing.
Thank you.
Siddharth, you belong to Chhattisgarh.
Yes, sir.
From where does Chhattisgarh get its name?
Sir, there are various theories, although historians do not agree on any one. The most prominent theory is that there were 36 forts in the area under the Gond kingdom, and because of which the Chhattisgarh name came. Some others have also suggested that the area, if we see the modern form of civilization, it was established by 36 families who had migrated to this region, and hence it's called Chhattisgarh, although there is no concrete proof.
So how many forts are still surviving out of the original 36?
Sir,
if they are to be believed so.
Sir, the issue historians have found with this theory is that no such concrete evidence of 36 forts have been found. It's
how many forts are there? Has any fort been founded or not a single one has been founded?
Sir, I don't know the exact number, but I can recall at least a few forts. For example, in Jagdalpur, there is a palace for the king. Then if we go to the Korea, Sarguja in Korea region, there is a palace. Then in Raigad also, the Raigad railway station was earlier a palace that has been converted to railway station. So these are the palaces, although I am not sure about the total number.
Okay. Why have you not opted for Chhattisgarh as your home cadre?
Sir, my parents, if I looked at the various rules on which home state to select, and since my education etc. had happened in Chhattisgarh, I filled it. But my family belongs to MP, and my parents after retirement, they also aim to settle in Madhya Pradesh. So given the option to select a home state, since I wanted to stay closer to them, given the option, I opted for Madhya Pradesh.
Okay. When was Chhattisgarh formed?
So Chhattisgarh was formed on 1st November 2000.
Two other states were formed along with Chhattisgarh.
Yes, sir.
Which were they?
Sir, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand.
Now compare the progress Chhattisgarh has made in past 23 years vis-a-vis the progress made by Uttarakhand and Jharkhand. Your assessment of where would you put Chhattisgarh?
Sir, in my opinion, Chhattisgarh has shown good progress. I think few factors support this argument. First of all, if we look at the political stability that the state has seen, has been more than state like Jharkhand, where there has been a change of lot of governments. Next is, if we look at the rights of the tribals post separation of Chhattisgarh, the growth of the tribal areas in Chhattisgarh has been very fast compared to, say, Jharkhand. Also, if one major issue that Chhattisgarh was was facing and is still facing is Naxalism, but it has been countered to a great extent. While when it was part of MP, the issue was neglected to some extent. And if we look at the Naxal affected area, it's limited to 8 southern districts now. I think these are the
So
only.
you have only made comparison with Jharkhand. You have left Uttarakhand all alone.
Sir, my knowledge of economy of Uttarakhand is little bit limited. That is.
Okay, no problem. No problem. You have studied from IIT Kanpur.
Yes.
So you have lived fair bit of your life in UP also.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us 2 elements of similarity and 2 elements of differences in the societies of UP and Chhattisgarh?
Yes, sir. With respect to UP and Chhattisgarh, I think given the industrial base of Chhattisgarh, Chhattisgarh's town now have a very diverse population from various parts of the country. And if we look at the population of UP, the diversity is bit less because UP
Okay,
is
that
the
is
source
one.
of migration. These are the differences. The second difference would be the prominence of industry in the economy of Chhattisgarh compared to a more agrarian background for UP. If we are to look at the similarities between the two, I think since both the states are part of broadly the Hindi belt, the basic family life of both the places are similar. And one more similarity between the two would be it's a similarity in a bit negative terms, but the poverty rates in both the states are still predominantly
Okay,
high.
no problem. You are into astronomy. Who is known as the people's astronomer?
Sir, I'm not sure, but I can take a guess.
Take a guess.
Sir, it would be either Neil deGrasse or Stephen Hawking.
Carl Sagan. Have you
Carl
heard the
Sagan.
name?
Yes, sir, I've heard the name of Carl Sagan.
What has been his contribution?
Sir, I think the biggest contribution to him has been that he took prominent step in bringing the understanding of complex physics to common people.
So, people's astronomer. So, last question. You studied in St. Xavier's School.
Yes, sir.
What can you tell us about Xavier's Inquisitions?
Sir, Saint Xavier's was a saint in around, I think, the 15th century, and he played a prominent role in spreading of Christianity in the South Asia region, and he was from the region of Spain, modern day Spain, Navarro. This is the only knowledge I have about Saint Xavier's.
Okay, that will be all. Thank you, Siddharth. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. Siddharth,
Yes, sir.
good evening.
Good evening, sir.
What importance is Chhattisgarh to India?
I think there are a few areas in which it is important. First of all is the mineral resource of Chhattisgarh. It is one of the most mineral-rich states in the country.
Okay.
Next is in the production of power. It is one of the power surplus states in India. Next is with respect to the tribal culture. Tribals who form a great part of both Chhattisgarh and India. Their growth of Chhattisgarh and their growth is in general a part of the growth story of the entire country. And I feel given the central location and the large forest resource Chhattisgarh has in India's endeavor to promote its forest conservation, also Chhattisgarh plays a prominent role.
Okay, very good. So, what is the tribal population of Chhattisgarh?
Sir, do I have to give the percentage?
Percentage you can tell.
Sir,
me.
25% of the population.
And what are some prominent tribes?
So the most prominent tribe would be Gond tribe. Other than that, there are Korwa tribe. Then there's Bhils. Some in the western parts of Chhattisgarh, Bhils are there. Then Bagas are there. I think these are the prominent tribes.
What has India done as a country to protect the rights of tribals?
India has taken a multidimensional approach to it. First of all is the tribal punchil, which gives them relative independence to chart their own growth story. Next is with respect to their economic rights. Forest Right Act has been passed to give them relative freedom over their forest resources. Next is for their political empowerment. Fifth and sixth schedule areas have been designated where tribals have greater say in the local polity. Um, I think these are the most prominent steps for tribal development.
Very good. When is Engineers Day?
Sir,
You would have
I'm-
observed it in
yes, sir.
IIT Kanpur, isn't it?
Yes,
or
sir.
no?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm not able to recall. It is 28th of some month, which I'm forgetting.
It's not the 28th.
And
it's
and
not
it's on the birthday of Mr. M. Visvesvaraya.
But it's not the 28th of any month.
Sir, I'm forgetting the date. Sorry, sir.
Okay, no worries. Who is this? Sir Mokshagundam Vishveshwaraya.
Sir, he was an engineer in the, and his main contribution was to the irrigation system of the Mysore princely state.
Only.
No, his most prominent, I think, contribution
No,
was.
no, there have been other very prominent contributions. What kind of an engineer was he?
So he was civil engineer.
Acha. MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Yes, sir.
They have an NFL team also, isn't it? You like NFL?
Yes, sir. I like NFL.
Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts has
Yes,
an NFL team or no?
Yes, sir.
What's it called?
New England Patriots.
Oh, very good. Who was their most famous player?
Sir Tom Brady. And
That's supposed to be the greatest of all time.
yes, sir.
Why? What was so special about him?
Sir, there are few factors which make him the greatest of all time. The success he has had in the sports, winning 7 Super Bowls, the longevity he has in a sport where average player life is around 6 years. He played for almost 22 seasons. Also, I think he brought about a big revolution in the sport. The sport is predominantly based on athleticism. But if we look at Tom Brady, he was compared to other NFL athletes, he was moderate in his athleticism, but his preparation for the sport, which gave him an extra edge. His watching the game film, then understanding of the various formations was very good, which gave him edge as a quarterback of the team.
Very good. Very good. Okay, anyways, now MIT. There is only one.
Yes.
How many IITs do we have?
So presently we have 23 IITs.
Isn't it?
Yes.
At some level, are we diluting the brand of IIT by having so many?
Sir, an argument can be made, but I think given we have to also look at the needs of the IIT given the growth story of India. Presently, almost 13 lakh people sit for the IIT JEE mains exam, and around 20,000 make it to the finally to the IIT. So the selection ratio for IITs is very less, and even if we are increasing the seats, if we are able ensuring that adequate infrastructure and teacher quality is provided, I think we have the capacity to absorb the student intake that the new IITs will have. So I think rather than saying that it is diluting, commensurate steps in terms of infrastructure are needed. If they are taken, I think the brand of IIT can be maintained.
Very good. Okay. Stargazing.
Yes.
If we look to the western sky at night, there is some phenomenon going on now. What is it?
So can I think for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Western sky. Sir, I'm
No? Okay, never mind. Who is Professor U.R. Rao?
Sir, I am not sure of his contributions.
No,
No, sir.
zero. Something to do with space.
Sir, I'm not.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Where is Sriharikota? And why is it significant?
Sir, Sriharikota is the prominent launch site for ISRO. It
Ah.
has the Satish Dhawan Space Center there, and
Where is it? You didn't answer my first question.
sir, it should be in Kerala or Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu.
It should be.
Okay. What are the other space stations that we use to launch vehicles, ISRO? Other than Sriharikota, there is another very prominent.
Yes, sir.
uh,
And
prominent launch pad.
sir, I'm forgetting the name.
Okay, no problem. What is the size of India's GDP?
So the present Indian GDP is around $3.4 trillion.
Okay, very. How many GST slabs do we have?
I think so there are 4 GST slabs.
What are
present.
they?
So 28%, 18%, 12%, and 5%. I think.
Nothing else.
One is 0%.
Mhm. Why is coal a sin good?
So coal is a sin good because of the issues associated with its use. First is that it's a polluting industry.
Hmm.
Next is even as has been seen in the past, coal mining has been usually associated with conflict and labor rights violation.
Okay. Good. My final question. India at 2047. India at 100. What is Siddharth's vision for India?
I think for 2047, I envision a country where every citizen has greater freedom in terms of the choices they can make for their life. This involves economic freedom, so we need economic empowerment of our poorest people so that they can make choice, they can enjoy the basic necessities of life. Additionally, we need not only economic growth but a social environment also. The various social disabilities imposed on various communities in the country are countered, and this has to be done keeping the political environment freedom and political equality that we have in the country and associated with the clean environment, which I think is needed to enjoy all these various freedoms in life.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Siddharth, when is your interview?
So it is on 16th March.
16th March.
Yes.
So 10 days from now.
Yes.
Oh, you are absolutely ready. So
Peaking at the right time.
Yes.
You are peaking at the right time. I don't want to give you too many advices to make things unnecessarily complicated. Let me give you my feedback. So, you come out as an intelligent and articulate man. You are both logical as well as pleasant to interact.
Thanks.
So it is not dry logic. You also bring in a lot of human touch in what you say. Your views are generally mature and very balanced. So, of course, did you appear in UPSC interview in the past?
Sir, I appeared for the Indian Engineering Services in 2022.
That is
and before I have appeared in 19 once.
Civil services.
Yes.
In which year?
2019
2019.
attempt. Yes.
Okay, so that time how much did you get?
Sir, I didn't get very good score, 160.
You got 160. And in engineering
Sir,
services?
I got very good score, 140 out of 200.
So I think you are basically that is the kind of range where you should be, because these attributes, and it is like this. Your knowledge base is generally very good. I found that practically all the boxes wherever questions were asked, you kind of ticked them very well, and some of your answers were very, very mature and balanced. In fact, in mining, to identify that prospecting and exploring, these are the areas, and what are the issues arising there. Even for 2047, that question many people answer, but the very nicely structured way in which you answered, and again you ticked all the boxes in the sense that your answer was to kind of address the problem of the people, and also at the same time to see what it does to the image and the glory of the country. I think you balanced all that very well.
Thanks.
So I really think that, and on Indus Water Treaty, where those issues are, and what your views are of the government, of course you, on that kind of an answer, let me just add one matter of finesse, that instead of saying categorically that we should not, you see, you should put this with some caveat that this has to be examined carefully, because, and then say that on balance it is best to kind of, rather than revoking the treaty, look at what way it can be improved further.
Okay, sir.
So that you're cognizant of all the options that should come out.
Okay, sir.
Because one may not even ask you why not, and in which event your point was that We have, for example, Brahmaputra's tributary, and China can actually blackmail us, and then it will be difficult for us to find the moral ground to resist it. So I think that, but otherwise you were very good, and now in the limited time, I would say you have a lot of, equanimity. You have a very, self-assured calm about you. So I don't think that you would get carried away. But sometimes, because in UPSC, when you go with a certain degree of pressure, and when you do well for the good part of the interview, the sense of relief actually sometimes overcomes some candidates before it should. It should not do till the interview is over, but some people towards the latter part do something very silly. So just don't do that. In the latter part of your interview, be very careful to kind of, just build upon the gains of the past, and don't think of scoring some, major sixer or something like that at that point. That point of time, see that, people, whatever impression they have formed, that is the impression based on which they give you the mark. And that would be pretty good, because you're a very good candidate. You have all the officer-like quality. You will do very well. Huh?
Thank you,
My
sir.
best wishes to you.
Thank you, sir. Siddharth, you are good. Okay? You are calm, you are composed, and you are consistent in your. But is it in the forenoon or afternoon?
Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Yes.
So you have to bring, more energy into the conversation.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that was the objective of asking you. So you will do well.
Thank you, sir.
65% in the first interview, that was 160.
Yes.
Second interview, 140 out of 200, 70%.
Yes.
This time your target should be the range of 75 to 80%.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Yes.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Siddharth, you are very good. There are no two ways about it. Very well done, very mature answers, I'll say. Only thing is, now if you are very comfortable with it and you have made it a habit, you can keep your hands like this. Otherwise, if you can be a bit natural, it would be better. Why are you sitting like this all the time?
Sir, I usually face when I'm little bit nervous. I used to clench my fist, so that is why
You have developed this habit.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. If you are comfortable with this now, at this time we will not ask you
10
to do
days
it
only
that.
to go, I
No
think.
problem.
Just
Yes,
leave outside.
exactly. No problem about that. A little bit of guessing you can avoid. Like Engineers Day, you said it's on 28th of something. 28th, I think you mixed it with National Science Day, which is
Yes, sir,
28th
yes.
February. So if you have to guess it, remember the Independence Day, and 1 month after that is Engineers Day.
Okay.
15th of September. That is a trick. So nation was born on 15th August and engineer was born on 15th September. So
Also,
very-
Annadurai was born on the same day.
and maintain your energy throughout. Towards the end of the interview, your voice was very slow.
Okay, sir.
So ensure that you maintain the same tempo, same energy level. Don't
Okay.
lose your energy, particularly towards the end of the interview. That
Okay.
fatigue must not set in for it's half an hour thing only.
Yes.
Okay, and few nitty-gritties here and there are fine. Very good answer on NFL also. I was also tempted to ask about Vince Papale, made very famous by the movie. You've seen the movie?
Sir, which one?
Invincible?
No, sir.
You have not seen. See, it's very good movie. Would like it. Xavier's Inquisition, read about it, because you spoke everything which was not asked and nothing which was asked. So little bit of tempering here and there.
Okay, sir.
And see, you are already answering so many questions so wonderfully that even if you say sorry, I don't know, that also would leave a good impact only, that this guy is not into guessing.
Okay, sir.
Whatever he knows it thoroughly.
Okay, sir.
Okay. But all the very best. We wish you all the best. Last attempt, na?
Yes, sir.
Don't take the pressure of last attempt along with you inside.
You have a very good service. You
Ah.
should go confident.
All the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Siddharth, you're very good, okay? There is absolutely no doubt about it.
Thank you, sir.
But like everybody else has said, I would also like to say the same thing, more energy, especially in the afternoon.
Okay, sir.
When food has gone into the stomach, generally the process is on, so you will feel a little sleepy. So you have to keep us all engaged and energized.
Okay, sir.
You have to bring the energy to the table, and a little smile here and there is, will help you in the process, because that brings a little bit of positivity to the conversation and to the environment. Okay? Then
Congratulations.
one more thing, you kept referring to
This is our
tribals as them. Don't make it us and them.
Okay, sir.
On 3 or 4 occasions you said them, them, them. It is not us and them, remember that. Okay, so you just say, so the tribal rights are so and so, like this. This is what has been done.
Okay, sir.
Something like that. Okay, otherwise you're very good. You'll do very, very well. You answered most of the questions excellently. Don't be forced into guessing anywhere.
Okay, sir.
You didn't get a couple of questions, so you felt that, oh my God, I don't know what is happening, now I have to answer the next one. If you don't know, don't answer. Please don't take a chance, because if you guess and the guess goes horribly long, it reflects very poorly on you.
Okay, sir.
Okay? All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
All the best, Siddharth. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have
You
to-
can
You
this,
take this, please.
Thank you, sir.
This is for you.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
You have any doubt?
Sachin is not coming. He is not coming.
You
Sir,
are-
I have a very minor thing. Sir, with respect to my haircut, because I had got a buzz cut earlier and the hair are only coming.
This
So
is
should-
perfect. This actually is
Okay.
good.
You're looking very nice and impressive.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Okay, sir. I just felt they were thoda, less systemized.
No, it's very
Gotcha.
good.
Only
Looking like a
seven
proper
days,
gentleman,
I think,
gentle officer.
Don't think about these things.
Okay, sir.
Only
Yeah.
10 days to go. Just, remain in your comfort zone.
Okay, sir.
Looking like an officer, dressed like one. Doing
Thank you,
very
sir.
good. You
But
are an
go with
officer.
this.
You will make it, don't worry, 100%.
All the best. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
One candidate to go.